All right, guys, let's let the sound kind of break in here. Still having issues with my phone and the audio. Nice and late tonight, 1:21 in the a.m. I'm going to try to knock this out as best as I can here. Got the screen up here, lights over there. I've got extra batteries because that one's probably going to die. So we'll just hope you guys are having a great week, man. Hope you guys are having a great week. I've had a lot of great questions. I've been really, really busy just with client stuff and doctor's visits. And we had our 2 weeks of Easter. So normally I get my son into bed 8:30, 9 o'clock, something like that, when school is in. And then everybody else is in bed shortly after that. And then I can sit down and start knocking out work. But if you're on 2 weeks of vacation, you don't really want him waking up at 6:30 in the morning if you want to sleep in. So we kept him up late and spent as much time as I could just being with family during the 2 week Easter break. And everyone's back to school this week. Tomorrow's Friday. So this is my first chance to actually sit down and have a few minutes to just put the food to cook. Which, first question here, what's for dinner? I didn't really eat very big tonight. Been a long, crazy, stressful day. My stomach is still really, really not good. And I've got like 8 training videos, not 8, but I've got at least 5 or 6 training videos that are set to edit right now. So as you see the videos that are being edited, you can see my energy kind of starts up here and it's continually going down. Just having stomach issues and nothing is digesting. So trying to get a good hold of that. Been sitting here chugging the coconut water tonight and cranberry juice always. But I've got a giant gammon ham I just put in the slow cooker. It'll be ready for lunch tomorrow. So it's soaked in pineapple juice and covered in pineapples. And I may add some sweet and sour sauce. Maybe got to think about that. I've got about another hour or two before bed. I may add some sweet and sour sauce to that. Don't know. Let's see here. My buddy Explorer 213, philosophical question. When walking the path to strength, do I consider the process of removing stones from your shoes or adding tools to your belt when thinking about overcoming plateaus? Are you removing weaknesses or adding muscle, technique, and exercises? Man, this could really, I don't think there's, honestly, this is the first time I've ever heard it put this way. And I really would love to copy and paste this somewhere because I think the way that you put this is really unique and special. On whatever it is, I think most of the people that are watching my channel are not, rah. This is about big numbers. I think we all definitely want to, have numbers in our mind that we want to hit. We all have things that we want to do and things that we want to achieve. But I think if you're probably watching my videos, it's probably more about I want to get out and train more than anything else. The fact that I can better myself and train and learn, and there are things that I don't know about, and I can just get better and I can have fun. I think that's the process that we all love, and I think most people will appreciate this. Is it a process of removing stones from your shoes, or is it adding tools to your belt when you're overcoming plateaus? Are you removing weaknesses or adding muscle, technique, and exercises? You have to do both, to be honest. I really think it's whichever one hits your boot first. Sometimes when you're, if you're hitting a plateau and things aren't going right, sometimes the first thing that hits you is, you look down and you see the stones on your shoes and you just start moving things out of the way. Sometimes you're in the local sporting goods store and you see a new band that they have, or a new set of chains, or a new barbell, and you're like, or you're watching an Instagram video or a YouTube video. You're talking, I don't know how many conversations I've had with you And, you mentioned, hey, you know what I did about 5 years ago? I tried this and that worked. And something in my head snapped like that. I don't know how many conversations I've had with clients this week. Today, I've had conversations with clients. I've got a client in his, let's just say 50s. Let's not say late 50s. Let's just say 50s. He's retired from 2 jobs. And, going through, talking with him, he's got a couple of, he fell and got majorly hurt and injured. What are we going to do about training? And, obviously the first thing is rest, and we got to get checked out. And then, we've gone through that. So where do we go from there? And that's where it's, hey, we look at all the tools that we already have in the belt. We look at everything that, everything that I know, and then everything that he knows that he hasn't thought of. And we start putting things together. So sometimes it is just reaching down and clearing a path. And sometimes it's looking around and saying, okay, here's, you're adding tools to your belt, whether you're adding knowledge, adding tools to your belt costs money. It really does. It always costs money. And it may just be time, and time is your money, because you could be spending, I know that you prefer to spend your time, with your partner and your kids. So I know, and then there's business. You could be spending time, working on your business. So, spending your time is money. But the thing about spending money, and whether you're buying new equipment, new tools, whether it's a book or an audio book or, coaching or someone's opinion or a doctor's visit or a bar or bands or chains or a new rack or whatever it might be, especially if it's something if it's an item you can put your hands on, if you don't like it, you can always get rid of it. You're going to lose money, but you're going to gain the knowledge that, hey, this doesn't work for me. And I think sometimes that's like that friend that you loan $20 to, and it ends up ruining your friendship. First of all, you say, if $20 ruined my friendship, what kind of friendship was it? But, if that's all it did was take $20 to get rid of that guy, if all it took was $200 for you to understand, it took a $100 to $200 loss for you to understand that X, Y, and Z doesn't work for you, you can cross that off your list for the rest of your life, and that's valuable knowledge. I wish I had some sort of philosophical answer to give you, but the way you put it is just novel, and the right answer is you got to do both, or whatever hits you in the shoe first. Matt Ball, my buddy here from the Isle. Oh man, he's from an island just like me. Are there any strongman careers that I've followed over the past few decades that have almost made it to the elite levels, that never quite made it for whatever reason, that I wish really had made it? Being an American, it was really interesting when I was coming up through the sport, because when I was coming up through the sport, the only way you could get to World's Strongest Man, the only way you could get to an international competition was you had to do well at nationals. The only way you got to nationals was you had to qualify at a national qualifier, and there were like 4 or 5 of those. So you had to place like top 5 at a qualifier to qualify for nationals, and then to go to Worlds, you had to place top 5 at nationals to go to Worlds. So there was, I always had a few friends that placed like 6th, like every year placed 6th and never made it to Worlds. Chad Smith was one of those guys that came up about the same time as me and had, he set a world record on a super yoke. He got to nationals and placed 6th. It's just, several years ago, I had a client in South Africa that, I worked with for a year and a half, and the goal was to get to World's Strongest Man. And I can say that he was, at that time, he was at a qualifier that would have qualified him for World's Strongest Man. And had he been a second and a half faster on the tire flip, no, a half second faster on the tire flip, he would have qualified for World's Strongest Man. And I would have been his +1. That was the deal going into it. So, gosh, what would I have done different? I wish, he dealt with injuries, and he was extremely injury prone when I met him. When I met him, he had already had both bicep surgeries, and I want to say a calf as well. So I really wish that instead of him saying, hey, we've got less than a year and a half to achieve this, I really wish we could have said, okay, we've got 3 years, we've got 4 years to do this. And I think that maybe that was just the outlook of the sign of the times back then. Pre-2010. Pre-2010 of the 2000s, it was, I've only got 3 years or a year and a half or, 2 years to make it to World's Strongest Man. Well, what do you do after that? And I think that was the short-sightedness from most of the people that were trying to get there. The people who were already there, they understood, hey, you're here. Now what are you going to do? Let's play the long game and let's stay here. So, getting here quickly isn't near as important as staying there. So I should have encouraged him more to spread that year and a half out over 3. But he had things with work and marriage and everything else. He had other commitments that he put on hold to dedicate towards that, and that was his goal. So, but that's the closest I can't tell you his name though. Southwest Florida bass fishing. Need some more underground training videos like the 2010 Arnold. Awesome. I know what video you're talking about. I will try to find some more old videos that I can post. That was an old video of Dave Osland and Brian Shaw may have been there. Bergman, a few other people, which is an underground training video, and I just happen to have a copy. So I've got a ton of stuff on VHS, but I run into the double issue here with VHS. Is I've got a VHS player, but VHS in America and VHS in Europe is different. And then it's just there's multiple, and then the cassette tapes are 20 years old, so it's not easy to convert. But I will try to start setting up some stuff and try to start converting some old tapes. And then will YouTube let me keep them up there? I don't know. Let me see. I'm going to mess this name up. Pronatorosaurus tricepsis. Will I ever try another sport? You would like to see me in arm wrestling? You think I could do good? For starters, I would be terrible at arm wrestling. I've got, it doesn't show up here, but I have giant hands and I have extremely long arms. But my arms are not strong, never been strong, and I think they're ever going to be strong. Another sport, I'm 44. I began my first competitive sport when I was 4. So, I did everything from basketball, baseball. I have 2 junior Olympic medals in Taekwondo. I competed in sport karate for a long time. I was ranked number 2 in the United States for several years in fighting, and I was, I finished top 8 in weapons against some amazing people, and then I was always top 3 in musical forms against some people that now I see them doing choreography. Like it was the new TV show this year, Kung Fu. My buddy did the choreography for that show, and he was always the number 1 guy, and I was always the guy that took second to him, And it's like I competed against him once in Washington D.C. I competed with him every month somewhere in the United States, and I competed with him once. I remember that he slipped twice and still beat me. Like legitimately, if I was the judge, he slipped twice, and I still would have given it to him. And then there was that much of a difference between me and 3rd place as well. But, and I've competed in the sport of weightlifting, and I would love to compete in the sport of powerlifting. I really, really would. I've had a lot of fun kayaking. I have a rower in my living room, so I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what the future holds, but I think, yeah, I would love to fight again, but I want to fight for fun. I don't want. I mean, I want. I like sport karate. I really do. I like the fact that I can train at the level that I'm going to compete, and I'm not going to get just totally beat up. Probably. I mean, I've been knocked out. Obviously, I've had my nose broke. I've broken my own knuckles. People have broken my knuckles. I've broken every digit on both toes. Broken kneecap. Every injury you can think about, I've kind of had. But as long as I'm on blood thinners, I'm not supposed to get some sort of major hit anywhere. Although I think I would be okay. I don't know. I'm not saying no to another sport, but strongman is probably done unless I can find something. I don't know. We'll have to see. Arm wrestling would just be, oh man, I would be laughable at arm wrestling. I really, really would. I think I would. I don't know. I really don't know. Southwest Florida bass fishing again. Hi, Clint. More of an opinion question. What do you think of the recent bodybuilders' deaths that are happening? Some of the amounts of stuff that they're taking is crazy to me. What happened to working hard for something and not achieving everything right now? Or is it that they can't compete in today's bodybuilding without taking insane amounts of this or that? To me, they look like crap. I can't say bad words. Compared to bodybuilders of the 90s, just my opinion, and they're dying faster. Thanks, Clint. As always, keep it up. I can give you my opinion on this. I think, the last... Look, I do feel that there's an uncanny number of athletes, bodybuilders, dying over the last couple of years. I was thinking about this driving the other day. I would love to see the data on how many bodybuilders die every year. And then compare that to the last couple of years, because we all say, oh, so many are dying the last couple of years. And then we blame pandemic, we blame, COVID, we blame vaccines, we blame a lot of stuff. So I would love to be able to see, the, what's going on there. If there's actually, is it actually more people, or are we just more aware of it? Social media has grown so much, and then social media grew so much again during any kind of pandemic, anything. So did it really grow, or are we just knowing more and more about it? We're having more and more bodybuilders pass away. I hate to say it, but a lot of these guys, I don't know who they are. I've never heard of them. I don't follow bodybuilding. But then the same people that are saying, not the same people, because that's not true, different people. I would say the same people if I was trying to make some kind of point, but the honesty is different people. You have a group of people that are saying, bodybuilders are dying like crazy. We have more people dying like crazy. And then we also have a group of people that are saying it's so much easier to get your pro card now than it ever has been in your entire life. So do we just have more bodybuilders than ever? So therefore you have a larger population, a larger number of them, fall into this group. Anyway, I got really upset when John Meadows passed, because there were a lot of people that said a lot of bad crap about John. A lot of people on YouTube that made a video just to get, hit like, comment, and share, subscribe, and they get a check, and they're profiting from the death of John Meadows. And then all the stuff they would say on there, I'm like, you think you knew anything about? And the thing is, he and I have the exact same disease. He and I had the exact same disease, and we both got sick the exact same year with the exact same disease. We both have very similar symptoms. I know that he and I have trained in the same gym at the same time, and I know that both of our concerns were the fact that the nearest bathroom involved us having to leave the building, walk about 30 to 50 yards, and then go upstairs, down a hallway, and then get into one toilet. And that was a legit concern for both of us. It's not one of those funny, I mean, it's like when we go places, everywhere I go, where's this? I mean, I've been up like 14 hours today, and I've gone to the toilet 12 times, and I could go right now too. So that's, something that he and I dealt with. And it's an inflammatory thing all the way over. He had issues with his heart before. I've had serious blood clotting issues at the same time. I've had a pulmonary embolism in the last 18 months. Nothing I've done that caused that. Nothing he did to cause that. It pairs with our disease. Anyway, to answer your question, I went off on a tangent there. But to answer your question, even for me, if I go over the last 2 years, I went from a body weight of like 255, 260. And I mean, even at Christmas this last year, I weighed 312. At 312, I felt like death. There was at one point where I thought I was going to have, I don't know what a heart attack feels like, obviously, but I thought I was having a heart attack. I just couldn't breathe. I think I was so big and so full from food that, there's a huge amount of pressure on my chest. And I sent my training partner a text message, and it was like midnight 30. And it was not supposed to leave your house. We were in real shutdowns. Can't leave your house. Serious fine if you're caught leaving your house. And I said, man, I'm going for a walk. If you don't hear from me in 30 minutes, come find me or call the police. And I made it back. But, I weigh 270, 275 right now, and complete different human on how I feel. I've been on the rower a lot of nights for 30 or 45 minutes. There is nothing healthy about, me having to put on that extra, the extra 10 to 15 pounds, much less 50 pounds, 60 pounds that I put on. So I think as, not just bodybuilders have to, go up a level to meet the new standard, but I mean, that's nature, that's every sport you can think of. That's football, that's basketball, that's everything. Everything is constantly, I got in a conversation the other day. I get in conversations with people here in Cyprus every once in a while. They talk, Formula One is a big thing here. And I don't know anything about Formula One. Nothing. So, people will make this, oh, you've got NASCAR. And I'm like, yeah, we've got NASCAR. And I can appreciate NASCAR, for everything that it is. I have a deep appreciation for it. Like, but it's just like a basic car. I mean, the Formula One drivers, they're called pilots. I'm like, well, you can call them whatever you want to call them, I don't know. But don't diss NASCAR. And the guy just said, well, you just get in the car and you turn left. I'm like, you know what? NASCAR is very simple and basic. You just, the first person is, okay, I'm going to get in a basic car and drive as fast as I can. I'm just going to turn left. And it's really, really easy and really, really basic until someone else decides they can do it better than you. Until someone else decides that they can get into a basic car and turn left and do it better than you. And then someone else decides they can do it better than them. So then you go back and say, oh, wait, you know what? I'm going to figure this out. And, 20, 30, 40, 50 years pass, and the advancement just, it goes, the advancement is just unreal. Everything is healthy and fun and easy until someone else decides they can do it better than you. And then you say, no, you can't. Watch this. The difference is, I think, the NASCAR drivers are so important to the sport. The safety of their drivers are so important to their sponsors, and the image that the people in charge do everything that they can to maintain that image, to make sure it's as healthy as it can possibly be. And I think until bodybuilding becomes the same way, it's going to continue to be, well, I can be bigger and better than you. I can put on more muscle than you. I can be leaner than you. Whatever that takes. I don't think it's just the drugs, because I've known a lot of bodybuilders that walk on stage on very little drugs. And I've known, a lot of guys who look terrible that just even blows my mind the amount of things that they're on. But I think that I think what we've seen over the last couple of years is a combination of people continually trying to raise the bar. I do think that the pandemic definitely hurt everyone. Whether it's stress levels or you take someone who's being risky anyway, and then we're going to make you stay at home a little more often. You're going to get a little bit less exercise. It's less exercise, more stress, gaining more body weight. I don't think it is. You mentioned what happened to working hard for something and not achieving everything right now. And I do agree that patience is key. But I wouldn't say that what they're doing is a lack of working hard. I don't think it all comes down to taking insane amounts. I've said this many times before. If all it took for me right now, if all it took for me to deadlift 660 was to take a gram of test a day, I'd do it immediately. That's it. Much less, my next numbers are 705, 771, and anything above 800. I would take whatever it took. There's no question I would do it. But I know that's not true. So I know it's not just the gear, but I'm sure it plays a part. I just think there are many, many facets that go into that. But I would love to see all the data. I really, really would. I really don't think we're looking at that many more per capita than what has always happened. I do think that we're just learning a lot more about what's going on quicker, a larger pool. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. Igor says something about Triple X girls. Strength habits. What's my favorite strongman event? Which one is my least favorite? And he also asked if I had a Spotify playlist. My favorite strongman event, I've always loved yoke and Atlas stones. At one time, I was one of the better people in the world at super yoke. Now I can barely pick up a yoke. But I've always loved anything that I can load my spine and load my back and move something that's really, really heavy. I used to always really love heavy Conan's wheel. Something where nobody is getting a full turn. Nobody's getting a full turn. Something that, you just get really pissed off and fired up and, you make a half turn and win. That sort of thing. And I can't imagine anyone not liking Atlas stones. Least favorite event, again, is still Conan's wheel. Husafel stone is killing me. I've never been healthy while being able. I trained Husafel stone when I was younger. I had several 400 plus pound, so 190 kilo wooden Husafel stones when I lived in the States, and I used to carry those forever, and I loved it. Least favorite, I don't like most pressing, although I've been a decent presser at times. The circus dumbbell is absolutely horrible for me, but I really want to get a new circus dumbbell made in the next month or so. One for me, that's good for training for me, and then one for my training partner as well. It's a heavier one. Sled drags are evil. All sled drags are evil. Spotify playlist. I mentioned this to you. I've got. Let me see. You've seen me. We've trained together. I'm recording. I'm looking for my phone. I'm recording with my phone. I've got my wife's old phone. So this is a 5C, I think, and this is what I use to. This is what I use for Spotify. That way, I can use my phone for recording or doing whatever I need in the gym. And I've got this. I got this in the car. And then I've got it connected to Spotify. I don't have Wi-Fi on it though. But I will work on the next couple of weeks to try to set up. What I do with Spotify is every month or two, I make a new gym playlist. So I just go through the old one and like, oh, I'll transfer these 50 songs over and I'll pick 50 new ones and add it to the playlist. That'll be what I train to for the next month or two, and I delete the old one. So I'll do my best to come up with something and let you guys know. Andreas, what is my opinion about CPF? That's the Cyprus Powerlifting Federation. Chris is the president. He used to train with me quite a bit. He's a super guy. You have to look long and hard. If someone doesn't like Chris, I don't know. I can't imagine someone not liking Chris. We trained every Sunday for a couple of years. And I can't, and it came to the point where, he had to focus on developing not only his work, but the Powerlifting Federation. I can't, I really wish I could take part. I'm not drug free. Gosh, and it's not that it would even be cheating at this point, because everyone would beat me. Everyone, a lot of the girls would be beating me at this point. But I think it's absolutely wonderful, and I think if you get the opportunity to be involved with the Cyprus Powerlifting Federation, absolutely do it. They seem to really be helping people qualify for the IPF competitions, and if you can get involved and become part of a great group, then absolutely do that. I really, really wish that I could just go and lift. I don't need a total. I don't need to qualify for anything, but I'm losing. My body is losing its ability to lift. So, I would really love to just go to their meet, knowing that there will be 3 judges that are going to give me red lights or white lights, and I'm going to just lift for me, and I'm going to start with a weight, and the next weight will be a little heavier, and the third attempt will be a little heavier. Squat, bench, and deadlift. I don't know if I could lift raw. I don't know if my joints could take it. But I would love to be a part of it. But I know that they can't do that because it would be, they've got a drug test. So I don't know. But I think you definitely, that hurts to talk about. It's absolutely get involved. Absolutely 100% get involved with the Cyprus Powerlifting Federation. And, it's a great way to set goals. I think they're doing some great things, from full meets to bench-only meets, to just get-togethers, that sort of thing. So I haven't heard anything negative about it at all. So I would get involved as much as possible. Ask any updates with my back, and this was 8 days ago. Nothing to brag about. I went to the physiotherapist, and the room full of physiotherapists, none of them, after they saw my MRIs and reports, none of them would even touch me. So they were afraid to touch me, afraid that they would do serious harm. Went to the neurologist today. I don't know what to say. Nothing positive. Still suggesting surgery, or the fact that I'm going to lose the ability for my right leg to function. So everyone that I've talked to, and that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 physicians so far, has said stop exercising immediately, get surgery as quick as you can, and either way you look at it, it's stop training immediately and you're done, and have surgery and you're never going to lift again anyway after surgery, and then you have to have the surgery again every 10 years. So I'm looking for someone who will step in and say, but wait, let's try this, because you can't take surgery back. You can't take it back. So and they really want to operate on as much of my back as I will let them. And that's from neck to pelvis, back, from the back and the front. And I think there has to be other options. So I'm not in that much pain, but I do struggle to walk. I'm not gonna lie, I struggle to walk. I've fallen quite a bit. And then today on all the tests that she did, I have a lot of my reflexes that are non-existent. Bottom of my foot's not ticklish. I had a lot of my nerves don't function. You know where they hit your knee? No, right leg didn't do anything. Where they hit your Achilles? No, right leg didn't do anything. Yeah, I'm not really ready to talk about that just yet, but you know, that is what it is. Do I have any training goals coming up? You know, the thing with my back's kind of threw a big heavy wrench into everything. Let me think while I drink. Training goals. If I'm starting, Sunday is strongman events. I'm really enjoying the circuits. The every minute on the minute, every 2 minute on the minute stuff. It allows me to use lighter weights, and it allows me to keep my mind busy by thinking, okay, we're going to fix this. We're going to work on fixing technique. We're going to work on going faster. We're going to work on moving. I'm not using anything heavy. So it also allows me to feel cool because I've got my strongman gear on. I'm outside, I'm dirty, I'm dusty, I'm sweaty, I'm out of breath. And for me, that's a big part of why I'm doing it. It's how I feel when I do it. A lot of nostalgia, and I've done this for more than 20 years, and I don't want to stop that. So that's probably how I'm going to keep my Sundays, working on the events. Keep them light for a little while, and pick and choose what I go heavy on. Mondays, Atlas stones. I really enjoy the every minute on the minute, every 2 minute on the minute work as well. On those, it's allowing me to stick with the lighter stones, get the reps in. I've considered switching, doing every other week. 1 week stones, maybe 1 week stones, 1 week sandbag, and 1 week a back day, an absolute back day. And I've got a reverse hyper. I've got bars right there. I've got plates here. I've got plates outside. I've got tons of bands. I could have a day where I do 15 sets of rows and really look at building kind of like a bodybuilder kind of back. I could do that. I mean, I could have 2 back days and then a stone day, and then 2 more back days and then a sandbag day. Maybe that would allow my back to take less of a beating, spine to take less of a beating. I don't know. Wednesdays, I've got to get smarter about which bars and setups are eating my back. Yesterday, I went out and I used the SS yoke bar with heavy bands with a medium to narrow stance for sets of 8. And that bar with bands and that setup ate my spine up. I had 1 set of 10 and the next set was, or 1 set of 8 and the next set was barely a set of 6. And then I was done for the entire day. And I'm a little sore today, not in the legs. So I think possibly the Buffalo bar may be the safest bar for my back. The Man Ray, maybe even the front squat. Maybe the SS yoke, as long as it is with chains and off a box. Deadlifts, I think the isometrics, I think deadlifting with chains and bands are safer than straight weight. I've considered having like week 1 be the day that I'm having right now, which is, I've got 2 squats basically. So I've got my main squat, which is going to be some kind of reps. And then I've got a secondary squat, which is usually something where I just hit technical singles. And I really like the front squats there. And the third lift for the day is a deadlift, and I'll have some kind of deadlift plan. And right now I'm going back and forth between the isometrics and speed deadlifts. And I really like that because it allows me to deadlift hard, somewhat heavy, and the isometrics and speed deadlifts, neither one of them, even though they are very impactful, they don't bother my spine at all. They're very, very safe. And you feel like you're going to pass out. It's a wild ride. And I enjoy that so much more than anything else, I think. You know, finishing the session and just being like, oh man, I'm destroyed. It was amazing. I almost passed out. Got a nosebleed from the nose torque. I enjoy that. And then I thought, you know, maybe the second week will be just a bodybuilding day. Don't load the neck or the spine at all. I can set up some, you know, leg exercises. I can set up a belt squat type of thing in my gym and fry my legs. I can do tons of pistol squats, hamstring curls, glute ham raises, back extensions, sissy squats. I mean, there's a ton of things. I could destroy my legs. And you know, I could do very spine-friendly stuff every other week. And then do extra spine-friendly stuff every other week. So I don't know. And then looking at Friday has been my log press and bench press day. I don't know. I have to, if I'm only going to log press 80, 90, 100 kilos, up to 220 pounds, how destructive is that for my back? I don't know, because it actually does kind of hurt sometimes. I've considered doing the same type of thing, is 1 week log press with, you know, a lot of bench press and shoulder, bicep, tricep accessories. And then the next week being completely bodybuilders. You know, the dumbbell setup where I have with you know, where I'm using the chains, you know, just, you know, chest, shoulders, triceps, and biceps, and no log. You know, I could do incline log, you know, all of my pressing feet up for feet, you know, against the rack. So it's the most spine friendly thing I can do. But focus on the bodybuilding side of it. And then every other week or every third week, hit the log. If, you know, as weak as my log press is, it's not going to really get weaker if I only do it every other week or every, you know, 3 weeks. If I go back, I made my best progress in the last year on the log by not doing log at all for a long time. And when I came back to doing log, my back and all my joints were fresh. So I made a lot of progress for about 6 to 8 weeks. And then as I began kind of squeezing things out towards the end, I started having a little bit of pain again. So I don't know. I've got a lot of things in the fire right now. I've got to get some stuff on paper. I am sure that tomorrow when I go to the gym, I will have a plan. So I've already been told not to train. I think my wife knows that that's not going to happen. So I got to have a plan when I go to the gym. I'm sure I'll have a plan, and I think I will try it, and I will just continue to make alterations and changes. There's a lot of stuff that I have to accept. And then again, hey, I'm going back up to my buddy right here at the top, and I do mean friend. He is, let me see. I know that if I called Explorer 213 on the phone, sent him a text message, he'd answer, and he would do whatever I needed. He's that kind of guy. I really do mean that. If you're looking at Explorer 213 on here, he's that kind of guy. He's that kind of friend. I need to remove stones and add tools nonstop. That's it. I've got to remove stones and I've got to add tools. You know, and if I add a tool, try it in the gym, and if it doesn't work or it hurts, I got to remove it, or I have to decide how often I can do it, you know, without it hurting me. So plateau. Except I don't want one. I don't want one at all. None of us do. Anyway, guys, it's 2:05. I'm gonna stop this and hit upload, and then I'm going to make another video probably tomorrow asking for more Q&As, and I'm going to do my best. As long as you guys keep getting me the questions, I'll do my absolute best to keep getting answers. Be patient with me. I have a lot of videos to upload. I've edited them all. I've just got to have to render them and set them to upload. And it's just, you know, it's 2 o'clock in the morning right now, and I would love to get some sleep. But I always have to make that decision. Am I going to get the videos done, or am I going to get some sleep tonight? So anyway, guys, hope you enjoy. I'm going to hit upload, comment, question, like, comment, and subscribe. Catch you guys later. Have a good one.